I please have this dance? This is where opportunity meets chance, where purpose meets a plan. This is a new life, a new way, a new possibility, a new day. So, may I please have this dance?
What the fuck is up, yo?
Bro, there's something wrong with this. Alright. Good afternoon, everybody. You are watching The Patriot Preaches. My name is Ashwant Achari, and today is July 24th, 2025. I woke up late, but I've had a pretty messed up sleep schedule these past few weeks, so I've had to I'm trying to restore my original sleep schedules when I wake up around 9:30, 9:50. So we're gonna have an afternoon show today. I mean, honestly, the recent stories that have been developing are um, Iran and Israel's ceasefire talks, and in which Iran is not going to halt their nuclear program, according to Patriot, right? In an interview with Al Jazeera, Iran's president insists Tehran's uranium enrichment programs will continue because of their loss in trust with the United States and Israel. Also, we're going to be talking about the new T app. This new T app is people are making it, for men. People are a lot of men think it's going to be the downfall of them, but honestly, there are some benefits to this T app, right? And we'll talk about it because hypergamy and this T app, if you're on it, you're going to satisfy that requirement. That's what we're going to be talking about, right? So it's a double-edged sword. Like in some ways it's good, some ways it's bad. But ultimately for men, I think it helps the top men, right? The guys who are the guys who are hunters, the guys who are out and about. It's not the right way to do things, but I think I don't think it's bad as bad as it people make it seem to be. It's not as bad as people make it seem to be. It's really not. So we'll talk about the program first, and then we're gonna get into the T app and the Epstein files. I mean, it's just a diversion, honestly. Like I don't want to keep talking about it because who knows if they release more information about it. Trump was named in the files, so I mean we've already known that. We do not need confirmation from Pam Bondi. So I think once there's more critical developments, then I'll probably talk about that. But other than that, they're just milking this story to keep people distracted from what's going on in the Middle East and how we are literally supporting a genocide right now. So yeah, honestly, let's get into it. So um, Iran's president, right, Masoud Pezeshkian, and his Pezeshkian has said his country is prepared for any war Israel might wage against it, adding he was not optimistic about the ceasefire between the countries, while confirming Tehran is committed to continuing its nuclear program for peaceful purposes. Pezeshkian made the comments in an exclusive interview with Al Jazeera aired on Wednesday, one of his first since the end of the 12-day conflict after Operation Rising Lion with Israel last month, in which the United States interviewed on Israel's behalf, launching strikes on Iran's nuclear facilities, and I do not understand why we are interviewing them on Israel's behalf. Why can we not interview them on our behalf? Right? That is why we have, quote, that is why we have prepared ourselves for any possible scenario and any possible response. Israel has harmed us, and we have also harmed it. It has dealt us powerful blows, and we have struck it hard in its depths, but it is concealing its losses. He added that Israel strikes, which assassinated leading military figures, military command, and essentially their military command chain, right, their leadership, and nuclear scientists, and damaged nuclear facilities, had sought to eliminate Iran's hierarchy, but it has completely failed to do so, right? Pezeshkian said Iran will continue its uranium enrichment program despite international opposition, saying the development of its nuclear abilities would be carried out within the framework of its international laws. Right? Trump says that Iran should not have a nuclear weapon, and we accept this because we reject nuclear weapons, and this is our political, religious, humanitarian, and strategic position, he said. We believe in diplomacy, so any future negotiations must be according to a win-win logic, and we will not accept threats and dictates. Right. Pezeshkian also addressed an attempt by Israel to assassinate him at a meeting of the Supreme National Security Council in Tehran on June 15th, which was reported to have left him with minor injuries. Asked about the assassination attempt, he said it had been a part of a plan by Israeli commanders to target Israeli political leadership in the wake of its assassination of senior military figures in a bid to put the country into chaos in order to overthrow it completely for regime change in favor of Israel. but the plan had failed, he said. He also stressed that Tehran's strikes on Qatar's EDGED base in the wake of U.S. Attacks on Iranian nuclear facilities had not been an attack on Qatar and its people. Quote, "We do not even have a thought or imagination that there should be hostility or rivalry between us and the state of Qatar," he said, adding that he had called Qatar's Emir Sheikh Tamim bin Al Thani on the day of the strikes to explain his position. Right, so, I mean, talks with European powers will resume, right? Aragachi said on Monday that Iran's Atomic Energy Organization is still evaluating how the attacks last month had affected Iran's enriched material, saying Tehran would soon inform the International Atomic Energy Agency, IAEA, of its findings. He said that Iran had not stopped cooperation with the IAEA, adding that any request for the IAEA to send inspectors back to Iran would be carefully considered. IAEA inspectors left Iran earlier this month after Pezeshkian signed a law suspending cooperation with the agency. And this is so Israel does not have any eyes or supervision on what they are enriching, because if they do, then they will attack. Just like they attacked Tehran, just like they attacked Fordo, which was unsuccessful, right? And it was a lie. They did not do anything. They did not damage anything, because the bunker buster bombs and how they had built the bomb was so that when the bomb hits, it would deflect and it would explode at an angle. So it would not explode directly on the nuclear enrichment facility deep underground. It's like a triangle, two triangles, and when it bounces off, it'll deflect. So that's how they, and the Chinese researcher, I'm pretty sure, you can go on YouTube, he established this study on the infrastructure, on how it would deflect the bunker busters. So that's how they modeled it, and so Israel did not do heavy damage to the facility. So they can still continue to enrich, and this is why they're not allowing supervision, and that's why they signed the law suspending cooperation with the agency. Right. The three European parties to the former Joint Comprehensive Plan of Action, which Tehran signed with multiple world powers in 2015 before the U.S. pulled out in 2018, have said Tehran's failure to resume negotiations would lead to international sanctions being reimposed on it. So that's about it for now. Let's see what we have. That's about it for the ceasefire talks. Right, so they're not going to back down. They're not. Let's see. So we have a news story today, right? It recently just came out. U.S.-Israel recalled teams from Gaza ceasefire talks after Hamas's proposal, right? So Steve Witkoff accuses Palestinian group of showing a lack of desire to reach a ceasefire in Gaza. U.S. Special Envoy Steve Witkoff has said he is cutting short talks aimed at reaching a truce in Israel's war on Gaza after the latest proposal from Hamas showed, quote, a lack of desire to reach a ceasefire. Witkoff made the announcement in a statement on Thursday, just hours after the office of Prime Minister Bibi Netanyahu said Israel had also recalled its negotiating team from Qatar amid the latest diplomatic flurry. Earlier in the day, Hamas had submitted its latest response to a ceasefire framework floated by mediators in Qatar, Egypt, and the U.S. Netanyahu's office confirmed receipt of the response and said it was under review. Neither side disclosed the contents. Both Israel and Hamas are facing growing international pressure to reach an agreement as the humanitarian and hunger crisis in the territory continues to deteriorate sharply amid Israel's severe restrictions of the entry of aid. And they are blocking off aid to these Palestinians, which is starving them to death, which is what's happening. And this is why Hamas is fighting. Hamas is not fighting for a hatred. Hamas is fighting from the hatred because of what Israel is doing to their people. Right? At least 115 people have died from malnutrition since Israel launched its war in Gaza in October 2023, mostly in recent weeks as the United Nations and aid agencies have warned that Gaza's residents were facing mass starvation. And this is why Greta Thunberg literally went on the boat and she got scooped up by the IDF, right? She got sent back. But yeah, that's something that I do admire Greta Thunberg about, right? put her life on the line to help these people. She tried her hardest. She didn't succeed, but it was a good effort. It was a great effort. It was a beautiful effort, and I do commend. I uh, I do appreciate that. Oh, it's a very kind thing to do. A very courageous act. Um, Going back to the Witkoff situation, a businessman with no former diplomatic experience prior to his appointment said the U.S. remains resolute in seeking an end to the war in Gaza, adding it was a shame that Hamas acted this selfish way. And what they're doing is they're painting Hamas to be this terrorist organization so that people will side with Israel and not with Hamas. And this is what um, this is what Nelk's platform did, right? They wanted to get the young frat dudes, the young college dudes, and they wanted to listen to Bibi Netanyahu talk convincingly and just convince them that Hamas is bad. You know, they deserve the land. What they're doing is right. What they're doing, they're not committing a mass genocide. They're always in the right. They have nothing to do wrong. They do not do anything wrong. And you could see the way Benjamin Netanyahu talks on the podcast. It's very evil. Like this guy's he's convincing himself that what he's doing is right. But I don't even think what he's saying he believes. He doesn't even believe what he's saying. And you could see it on his face. It's absurd. And now it received a lot of backlash, Kyle especially, and he was just, you could see him contemplating in the van. I saw a TikTok clip of him. He was just, he was like, he's rubbing his head. He was like, oh man. So he had to bring on Myron. He had to bring on Sneeko. I talked about this. He bring on Nick. And yeah, and then they kind of countered it pretty well, right? Because a lot of people knew. If you go in the YouTube comments, this is like this is a worldwide phenomenon, right? People know about this genocide. This is like having, a lot of people say this. This is like having Hitler 2.0 on your podcast. And that's the problem. That oh, we got a viewer. We got I think we have Astro. He's watching. But the current proposal under discussion, right? We're going back to the talks with Steve Witkoff, has been reported to include a 60-day ceasefire in which Hamas would release 10 living captives and the remains of 18 others. In return, Palestinians imprisoned by Israel would be released and aid supplies would be ramped up as the two sides held negotiations on a lasting truce. Details of the current sticking point were not immediately clear, but officials from both sides have previously pointed to a dispute over what would happen in the wake of a new ceasefire. Israel has repeatedly said its plans to deploy the military long-term in Gaza, seeking a complete defeat of Hamas, despite warnings that such a goal is unrealistic. Earlier this month, IDF Minister Israel Katz reportedly laid out a plan for the forced transfer of Palestinians to a humanitarian city within Gaza, a maximalist approach that critics say would violate international law. Israel's government has also faced domestic pressure over the plan, amid fears it would foreclose ceasefire negotiations and block the release of captives held in Gaza. And reporting from Washington, D.C., Al Jazeera's Shabib Ratsasani said it remained unclear whether the U.S. withdrawal from the talks was a negotiation tactic. Right? And the war in Gaza has apparently killed about 60,000 Palestinians since it began. The Hamas attack and the Hannibal Directive. And the Hamas attack was only because of the Hannibal Directive. It was a setup. So people who say that Hamas attacked first, they did, but that was in response to what Israel did with the Hannibal Directive. Right? So it's not, they try to paint this picture of they victimize themselves. They justify their attacks. They justify their full-fledged, tenfold, inhumane acts with by victimizing themselves, by saying, "Oh, they attacked me first. Oh, they hit me first." That's the problem. And then we can talk about that's about it. But the new so we can talk about the T app real quick. And the T app is, an app where, oh yeah, you're good. So the T app is actually, it's an app where women, they have, what is it? They could post a picture of a dude, right? They post pictures of men, and it's like the app, you can only download it if you're a woman. So you have to, scan your face. It's like making a stock account, signing into a stock account like Webull, Robinhood, or like Tinder, a dating app, right? You have to verify your face, and you have to verify that you're a woman. So you have to give your personal information, and they'll get back to you within like a month. And once you're confirmed, then you can use the account or use the app. I mean. And once you get the app, you can post pictures of men. It's where women can look out for other women. This is what they said, right? And they could point out red flags, green flags, good things about the guy, bad things about the guy, what he's done, his reputation. And it also promotes women to lie about these men too. So if some girl just hates you for some reason, they'll just put a picture of you and they'll just lie about you and say, "Oh, your thing is small, or you're weird, you're erratic, you're just something that's not something derogatory about you." They could just write it. And what I'm seeing is, a lot of these women, they're happy, but the point is this is exposing the hypergamous nature that they have. It's always the same dude. It's mostly the same type of men. It's mostly the most common men. You see like the tall, good-looking, the playboy, the bad boy. And those are the type of guys you see on the T app, right? And they have a bunch of red flags, a couple of green flags, but a bunch of red flags. I know one of my friends is on it, so that was kind of funny because I told him about it the other day. He's like, "Yeah, bro, I've seen it." He's like, "Yeah, so I have a friend that's on it, but I mean that's what happens when you mess around a lot. You're gonna get reputation." And I think I don't know, they write they write stuff like, "Oh, he like he did this to me and then he left me, like, oh, red flag. Oh, he was talking to this girl on the side. And they like that. The thing is, they like that. Small thing, yeah. It's like they like that, right? This is the hypergamous nature, right? They like that. They enjoy that. So it's a double-edged sword, right? So for long term, if you're on there and you see a lot of these reviews on you, it's like Yelp, but like for men. And you see a lot of reviews on you, and when you're gonna get married, she's gonna see all these things about you, and you're gonna have to defend yourself, like Matrix. Like you're gonna have to. But for the short term, they are attracted to men who get a lot of women. So then, for short term, you can get a lot of flings. You can rack up a lot of, you know, one night stands. So it's a double-edged sword. Right? It's a dichotomy of short term versus long term. Maybe in the long term, it does help in the long term too, because then they'll have social proof, and social proof is very important for getting women. So, and I've drawn this out for you guys on the board. It's like this. Uh, ah, it's like that. See? So you have purple is girls, and then black is the dudes. Oh my god. Hold on. Alright. Purple is the girls, black is the dudes. And you have, this is like the attractiveness scale, right? So you have like the lower tier women, then you have like the more better looking women. And then you have the guys who are like on the app, right? These are like, you see 287, 60 green flags, 180 red flags, 48 green flags, 58 red flags, 9 green flags. And then these guys aren't even on the T app, right? But these are supposed to be with them. These are supposed to match with these girls. These dudes are supposed to match here. But the thing with hypergamy is the top men, they get, most of the women. So all the men who are on the T app get even the lowest value women, or even the lowest attractiveness of women. They get the big ones, You know, they get the big ones, they get the medium ones, they get the supermodels, they get everything. And now these guys are not on the T app, and these guys aren't, you know, even if they're actively trying, it's going to be difficult because they don't have social proof. So when you're on the app, you're getting so much attention, you're getting so much social proof because women see that, oh, he did that. Oh, he's with me. Oh, he's doing this. He's like in the night. He's like driving. Oh, he's like out and about. Oh, he hit that. Oh. So when you get, um, yeah, when you're on the T app, it's an advantage for you as a dude. You're getting so many eyes looked at you. You're all over these women's like app on their phones. The big, medium, yeah. I'm trying to be like nice. I'm not trying to be like mean, but like there's more to it than just looks, obviously. But I'm just saying from like a general standpoint of like a Mother Nature standpoint, how it works. Right? This is not like for everyone. This is like just this is generally how it works, right? This is how female nature works. They go for the top 1% of men, even if they're not the top 1%, because they have delusion. And these guys don't even care about these ones. They don't even care. They don't give attention, right? And this is the thing that Tate taught me when I was 16. What we get, it was what was it? We give attention for sex, and they give sex for attention. So that's the equivalent of sex for us is attention for them. So that's what it is, right? So you've got to learn to weaponize your attention, and you'll have a fun time on the T app, right? If you're on the T app, if you're a guy and you're on the T app, take advantage of it. Honestly, take advantage of it, because you're the talk of the town. You're in the group chat. You're being talked about. So you've got motion. You've got motion already. You've got status. You can do what you want. You can do what you want. Would you say you can screw people's digital footprint? The things they say about people on the, yeah. So Astro here is asking me about the digital footprint, and yeah, that's true. Digital footprint is a thing, is an important factor. But you can't verify it, right? Like, I mean, some girl could just lie. But if she has video or a photo proof, she has video and photo proof, then she can prove her point. But if she just writes something, like your schlong is small, then it's like you can't prove it, right? Unless she has a picture. But I don't think you can post schlong pictures on the T app. I hope not, because then that would not be good, you know. So I mean, for me, I mean it wouldn't be a problem because I'm like Conor McGregor. I'll put the weight. I'm like Conor McGregor. You know what I do? I just put the weight. I work out. I work out my arms, my legs. I work out my third leg. I work out everything. So that's the thing. So yeah, the T app is not as bad as you think if you're a dude. So don't get too worked up if you're on it. Just try to be in good faith. Try to try to operate in good faith. But if you need to lie, go right ahead. But honestly, this is it's insane. It's ruining relationships. It's ruining social interactions. It's just ruining everything. So we need to get rid of this T app as well. And this is stupid. We need to get rid of this T app, or we need to make a counter T app for us. Because then we can know who's a whore and who's not a whore. Right? I feel like that's the that's the solution, right? That's an equal solution that would be helpful. So we talked about the T app. We talked about ceasefire. Talking about the genocide that's just going on. No one's even. I mean, we need to do something. We've got U.S. doctors urging Trump to end Israel support as hunger grips Gaza. That's how bad it's getting. And it's only a matter of time before there's like a revolution. I feel like there's going to be a revolution, like a 5-year, 10-year revolution. It's going to be bad, like a civil war. Matter of fact, it might be a civil war. A 10-year civil war within our country. and we're just gonna go through a full refresh, like a full cycle. Like everything's gonna be destroyed, and then we're gonna have a new government. But when that new government arises, we need people that actually care about America. Right? We can't have like these extremists. And I was watching the Jubilee, Mehdi Hassan versus the 20 far right Republicans, conservatives. There's like one or two that actually made sense. The other guys, they misrepresented they misrepresented the far right so bad. They made themselves look bad, and they reinforced the rhetoric that they have of them, right? Of being racist, stupid, emotional. That one pink shirt guy, especially, that guy was just stupid, honestly. You know, he was making pretty racist remarks, and it's one thing if it's a joke. One thing is a joke, but it's another thing if he's actually being serious. And he was being serious when he told Mehdi Hassan, "You got to get out of my country." You can't tell him to get out of your country. He's an American citizen, right? Like, he used to be an immigrant, but he naturalized. He became a citizen. That means he's an American citizen. You can't deny that fact. And if you deny that fact, that means you're racist, because you're only denying it because he is brown. He has brown skin. So, I mean, it just shows the loopholes in their argument. Maybe there's one guy that made sense, but even I wouldn't agree with some of their points about birthright. I mean, birthright has been around for a while, so that's the thing. Yeah, that would be a start. Yep. Yeah, counter T-app start. We yeah, we've got a lot of stupid people on the far right, so we gotta they gotta make themselves look better, honestly. My job is to return independence to America, right? And then we'll see after that what I can do, but my main goal right now is to so that we can make our own decisions and have our own foreign policy. Because we have not had our own foreign policy in a minute. It's been a long time. That's about it, honestly, for today. I wanted to have on my friend, but I don't know what he's doing. He's beating his meat. I think he's beating his meat. Uh, Most of my friends, they beat... No, I'm just kidding. No, I'm kidding. But... yeah. No, I'll try to get him on another time, but... yeah. Thank you guys for watching. I mean, thank you for watching Astro. Number one. Foreign policy. Foreign policy is like, it's like how we... international relations. It's like how we, talk with other countries, how we make deals with other countries, whether we want to impose war, whether we want to impose tariffs, whether we want to, you know, let's say whether we want to combine, whether we want to separate, right? So that foreign policy is like relationships with other countries on a basic level. That's what foreign policy is, right? What are you drinking? I'm drinking water, right? I'm drinking water. Yeah, I'm drinking water. So, yeah, I mean, that's about it. Yeah, I'll see you guys tomorrow, Friday. If there's anything good tomorrow, any good stories tomorrow, I'll cover it. But for today, that will be it. And yeah, thank you for watching. I will be live tomorrow in the morning, hopefully. And yeah, I will see you guys tomorrow.